Another comfort measure is the audience, and this includes whoever's in the room during the actual birth. And this is something that is commonly discussed by an expecting mother with maybe her partner or her family members, but should definitely be discussed with her birthing team, her provider, and should definitely be like heavily thought about just because the audience has such an effect over how the woman will birth and her feelings towards her birth. It can really affect the attitude and just energy of the room. So when picking the people that will be present actually in the room for your birth, and that's also a difference because um, you can encourage people to stay somewhere nearby almost as a waiting room until the baby's born, or stay in like a different room of your house. um, but when we're talking about people that are actually in the room while the mother is laboring and giving birth, my recommendation is that it is as few a number as possible. And if you're already having a midwife and her assistant and possibly another midwife and another assistant, and your husband, or a family member that's really close to you. That's already a lot of people and it's already pretty crowded. And so, as labor intensifies and the mom becomes more and more maybe stressed or somewhat feeling out of control, having so many people in the room, even if they're all good intentioned, can just be so overwhelming. And then there's the occurrence of somebody coming in with maybe a more negative attitude or negative thoughts about home birth or a birth at the birth center, and expressing those opinions verbally or passive aggressively can just really discourage a mom while she's giving birth, or even instigate complications with other people in the room. Um, and in this case, the spouse or support person of the mom can, possibly kick people out of the room, or just explain to them what the expectations are if you're wanting to stay in the room. But I know most midwives are also comfortable, if they're not already occupied otherwise, with speaking to family members, or possibly kicking them out just because they have authority as a medical person, and there won't be so many maybe like an offense if it's the midwife kicking them out rather than the spouse. But either way, it is so much more important to maybe slightly offend a family member than to really hurt your birth story and your attitude towards your own birth by letting that person remain in the room if they're choosing to be negative and discouraging. And so that has a huge effect. And making the birth audience as intimate as possible, with really just the people that you absolutely need there, such as your birthing team, your husband, and really that's it. But any other close family members that are willing to be supportive and support your birthing philosophy should be welcome, but also remaining at a distance in like another room or house nearby is also a great option. And then they can come over as soon as the baby's born.